Want to hear it? You want to hear it? Then
here you go.
Here it go. Welcome to the 7th episode of Born in Trouble. Is it number 7, Grant? Is it 7? I think so.
Is it? Yeah, 6? I think we did 6. I think.
Born in Trouble. I'm your host, John X. How y'all feeling? We're sticklers about the details. And if you hear the joy in my heart, it's because Mr. Gene Hopkins.
Hooty hoo.
That's
from
right.
the A. Glad to be back, gentlemen.
Glad to have you back, brother.
Yes, sir.
Good. You know the show's a little bit late.
And happy belated, brother.
Appreciate it. Yep.
To both of y'all brothers.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
I hit a hard 10.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah.
Grant is the young boy lagging up behind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you'll get there. You know, Grant got that great big brain. When he was little, they were like, we can't have you making the other kids look stupid. We're going to have to skip you a grade.
Look at Grant with the big brains.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, they used to work.
They used to
work.
They still working. Big shout out to Mr. Brooks with the good looks. Working tonight. Working
yes, sir.
Man, every day. Mr. Johnson.
Where the boxing brother at?
Haven't spoken to Reggie in a little bit. He was having some personal stuff. Big shout out to Reggie Reg. Mm-hmm. You know, he's going through some things that we all go through at times. He'll be all right. And I'm sure we'll see Mr. Reggie Reg back some other time.
True.
And Mr. Chocolate Yoda.
Who's that?
Chocolate Yoda is another guy that I had met on the Wisdom app. And he's definitely an expert, I would say, on the guy Donald Trump.
Okay.
The one that we try to avoid. And, you know, we try not to speak about politics on every episode or a lot of episodes because...
During an election year? How do you avoid that?
Yeah, it is what it is. Like, you know, you go on TikTok... You know, it's pretty easy. You go on TikTok, people they get their fill of Trump Harris, you know, or Harris Trump, I should say. They get their fill. It's all over the place. You know, everyone's talking about it. The big question right now is like, you know, how are these people taking these turns in the polls right now? Because it doesn't look too good for Trump. But at the same time, you better not start doing victory laps because we've seen that before with Hillary, right?
Right.
Certain amount of people are not going to vote for a woman. Gene, would you vote for a woman?
I don't vote.
But if you did vote, hypothetically, would you vote for a woman?
Sure. Especially... I think I said this before, but I think since most of the earth has made the black woman the lowest rung, then it's just by using my common sense and seeing what's been done in history and stuff and who's on top now. The black woman probably should be running the world. She should be at the top instead of where they have her at the bottom. And so that's why I was going to say, especially a black woman, I would vote for. If voting meant anything.
Right.
And the door closes.
You know, I mean,
grand opening, grand closing.
Grand opening, that's it. It's done. You know? And the door closes. I mean, the question really comes down to how do you feel about female leadership in the world? And I've heard both sides on it. of it. And I personally, I feel like the best person for the job should have any job, not just the leader of the free world or of the world. Ain't shit free in the world. Nobody is really free in the world. So that's just like a terminology that people use. But I think it really comes down to, do you have a problem with female leadership? Would you have a problem with female leadership, Grant? Have you found
No. So I'll say this. I don't have a problem with female leadership, but what I find is that female leadership has a tendency to try to emulate male leadership, right? And they try to be hard like men when they're not, But I mean, that's whatever. Most of the men that lead ain't really hard either.
Right.
They just be fronting. So I guess it's more of the same. You know what I'm saying? If women are fronting like men, or weak men are fronting like strong men.
Right. And so either way, any way you slice it, it's called overcompensation.
Right.
It's like you got 3 inches, you want to tell somebody you got 9.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I probably do have a problem with it, but that is completely my problem that I need to get over. And it's because that's how I was taught. That's the world I come from. That's what, and not only taught by family, but that's what society taught me. That's what this country taught me, And so, but yeah, I need to get over it, because we probably need a more sensible leader when it comes to governments, countries, and everything else. Because what have the men done besides, you know what their trigger is? Go straight to war, start killing motherfuckers,
Right. But this is the thing. This is the and I've talked about this just on the fire department, because I think one of the biggest problems that we have on the fire department is that it is led by all men, right?
Right.
But the problem with a female leader on the fire department is when a man looks at her, he gonna be thinking about fucking her. Right? So
only our age.
So that I'm saying right. But I'm saying that
feather dusting him or something, or
that strength that she would have to have is diminished by the fact that I'm gonna try to fuck her. You know what I'm saying? And I just think she loses the respect of her men, not because she did anything other than be born a female. I think she would lose some of the respect of her people based off of the fact that she's a female, and they would try to conquer.
Well, what y'all talking about are bigger societal problems. Because I'm thinking about it in terms of like Grant, my father. My father was a truck driver.
Mm-hmm.
And, we went out, and you actually worked with me doing jobs, at different times.
Hated it.
Yeah, exactly. But you saw what type of environment that was. That was strictly like, bam, bam. You know what I'm saying? Bang your head on the wall, and like those types of dudes. And I did that for a number of years. I find them refreshing sometimes in a different way. Like a lot of them would probably, if they understood what I was saying, they'd probably be insulted. But it's like, it's basically said with and meant with, like, affection in a way. That their simplicity is like a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And
I hear that.
I think, and then also at the same time, then I went and I worked for Citibank. That was like one of my first big jobs. And I had female bosses, female manager, female supervisor.
Did you hit him?
No, I didn't hit him. Nah. But you see, but I was thinking about it in terms of like what Grant was
like one of the men you was just talking about.
No. But in terms of like what Grant was just talking about, you reminded me of a situation like years ago when I was working at Citibank, and there was a guy that was a friend of mine. We were both workflows out there on the floor, and he started banging the manager, one of the married supervisors at the job. And she was a female supervisor, And of course, the department, because it was customer service, it was probably about 70% female. So it was kind of like the same dynamic. And when it was time for the relationship to be over, he was upset. This is like, in the 90s. So they won't just suing people right away.
Right.
Or, coming out and say, now he probably would have, old boy was so emotional that he probably would have had a lawsuit. And it was a switch dynamic. And I don't think that really, what I'm really trying to say is that the position and the status of where you are in the hierarchy of life, work, wherever, I think that plays more a role into whether or not the women are the leches and the men are the leches. I think you put women in the same situations, you have some of the same similar problems. The difference is, like, if a man goes out and he bangs one of the females that's out there on the floor, he might be seen as stupid because of the problems that she could actually cause him. But by the men, it could be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You bang that shit. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to do that shit too. But the woman, like Gene said, you might lose some respect for him because she banged.
Because you're taught to. I'm saying it's my problem because I was taught something that is not going to serve me well going forward for the most part in this country. And so as far as the morality goes in it, you know what? I sat here while you guys were talking and started thinking about, okay, what women have I known in leadership positions? What did I think of, how well they did their job or this, that, or did they command leadership or did they command attention or whatever? And I'm going to tell you something. I haven't been in a position in my 54 years here where I've been impressed, by how great, how good a job the ones I've seen done. I'm not saying they did a bad job. I'm just saying, like, where I've seen leaders stand out before, and I think at one time I stood out as a leader at one of my positions, but I haven't seen it. I'm just trying to think, and then, some that I really liked, man, they used to do some, it's justified though. They used to do some really just scary shit just to try to protect themselves from, the world they have to be in, from all these men that are coming at them every single day, to disrespect them or question their authority or whatever, and so they turn into this, they turn into something that, we can all sit back and say, I hate when blah, 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 but it's justified. If they don't turn into that, from what I've seen, maybe it's changed with the younger generation coming up, but we have chewed and spit them out and in several ways, so.
Well, that's kind of the exact same thing that they say, that a lot of women say, because of the fact, if I'm a little bit harder at work, it's because I have to be, because these men are always coming at me. But is that true? More so, I think.
Hell yeah.
I think
my experience.
If you're dealing with men of our generation, you would probably say definitely yes. But these 20-year-olds now and these 30-year-olds, this is kind of like what the big fight is about. This is the reason why you can't have a conversation about something like this without bringing in politics. Because who is it that Trump is really trying to empower? He's trying to empower these men who are probably not, I won't say up to par, but they're not exceptional for the most part. And trying to give them dominion over others immediately.
Yeah. So I think we all wish we had the confidence of a mediocre white man. Right? Because right,
Right.
But I say that, and just going back to what we're talking about with the female leaders, I had a female that was in charge of where I am now at the fire department, and she's younger. She's like 35 now, or will be 35 on her birthday, and she was an awesome leader.
Mhm.
But people didn't recognize that she was the leader, right? When people come into the shop, they see me, but they've known me for so long, right? So they know me. They say, "Hey, you look like you're running the shop now." And my reply was always no. Micah runs the shop. I'm just the dog.
Mhm.
So when she need to sick the dog on somebody,
Mhm.
that's me.
Mhm.
And I think as a manager, period, that's what you need, right?
Mhm.
Because there has to be some separation between you as the manager and your employees, and you kind of need an underboss
Oh yeah,
to
you definitely
do. Yeah,
Oh, it helps. It
yeah,
really
absolutely.
helps. Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So sleeping around on the job is probably not going to be in the best interest of a female boss. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Only because of our uh,
yeah.
uh
The way society is,
immaturity.
Yeah.
Only
right?
because of our they have to
So I can skip over the question about whether or not it's fair.
yeah. I just wanted to
No,
emphasize it.
just go ahead, Gene. I want you to finish because but we
No,
can
I
skip
just wanted to
over
emphasize it's because of our stupidity, our immaturity, our mis- we
so,
are misogynists. I mean, it might be undercover now. It might have different mask on it and everything else. But when you get up to, since we're talking politics, you see the faces on those senators on that senator photo. What do you call that? Group photo, and you see the faces on the congressmen group photos. And you see,
Mm-hmm.
you need to look. Them folks still there.
mhm.
Right,
You know the people who hold the values that I'm saying we're immature for having.
right.
I mean, they are there. They will say, you know, that lip service is grand. Oh no, we support this, that. Last year I wrote a bill for this, that, and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. I know them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
You know, so it's hard for women. I mean, because of and that's why I think the Democrats, man. I mean, you know, I do like the entertainment of it all, and you know, I need to get over that too because that's really just a sick part of me that's entertained by this. But
Mm.
I think the Democrats actually are throwing this by putting her up there. You
Really?
know, I think that with two wings of the same eagle, that I think that wing wants Donald Trump too. You know what I'm saying?
That is definitely a hot take because a lot of the stuff that I've been hearing has been Kamala is basically first of all, like, you know, we were talking before we came on the show, and it's like one of the things is that you can't do is like this is like Hillary Clinton all over again. They start taking a victory lap. You know what I'm saying? This race
Right,
ain't
right,
over.
right.
There's a certain amount of men in this country that are never going to vote for a woman. So now you're just really trying to break off pieces of everybody else to get you over the hump. Okay. So some people, some black guys, some black men have just basically, they're just like, you know, like, fuck it. She's a woman. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about Project 2025 and everything. Better than a woman. Better than hearing that bitch. You know, and that's basically where they land and everything. I'm not calling, you know, Miss
right.
Harris.
Yeah,
I'm just like, you know, you have to clarify these days because everybody is so
Oh
sensitive.
yeah, they ready to get in that ass.
Yeah, they ready to jump in it, dig in it, you know, do it or, you know, bring cameras and shit, take records, notes, all types of shit. But
They ready to diddy you.
yeah.
You don't want that.
They're ready to put you in a rear naked Diddy.
That's it, man. That's it, man. Like you missed the entire Diddy like saga.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad, man, because I know I wouldn't. I probably would have said some inappropriate shit. I'm glad I missed that.
Definitely. I mean, the worst part about it is that people still like claiming that he's hurt. I don't see how he's possibly hurt. You don't hear about him anymore, but you didn't really hear about him then either.
Right.
It's like insurance paid the claim. He's riding bikes in Miami. He's got tapes. He is a walking I wish you would right now. So it's like fucked up. But he's a walking I wish you would. And even though he's done whatever, I don't know what he's done and what he hasn't done completely. Not completely. So I'm not gonna judge.
I'm gonna tell you something. You gotta be an arrogant motherfucker, right? To stay in this goddamn country with all that money and take all that heat too.
Yeah. You gotta be sure. You've got to be sure. So what that tells me right there is that he is sure. He's sure that nobody's gonna even talk about it enough or bring it up. And they shouldn't. Like really honestly and everything. I'm not even gonna mention the name again in this like conversation because in a way.
I used to party doing shit though. I ain't scared to admit it. I'm talking about, that damn some of them songs with Mace and
who didn't?
And Biggie.
All About the Benjamins.
Oh my God.
He ran the world. They loved him. They loved him.
I was rooting for Diddy at one time because I knew he went to Howard with y'all, and nobody was speaking of him ill back then. And I used to root for. I mean, I used to be like, yeah, that's cool, Until he made them niggas walk for that cheesecake. Then I was like, oh, something. Dude is weird. Dude is weird.
So it was the cheesecake. It wasn't anything else. It was the cheesecake.
I was like, no, I just, it's just that was some old. The energy that I got from that was, some pimp energy, and that pimp energy. I've had some bad experiences in corporate America with that, and I just, when I see that energy, I'm cool on you. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? My thing with that is that not for nothing, I don't think it's good. Any of it's good, but I'd rather not see another brother go down.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? As they getting away with worse. They get away with worse.
You'll never stop seeing brothers go down.
Yeah.
Never.
No.
Because regardless to what happens, this is still America.
Right.
And the enemy is always the enemy that you can visually pick out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. So if Weinstein and Bill Cosby do the same thing, Bill Cosby gotta go.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And then
well, listen, if we get one every now and then, I don't know if it's but if one slips through the crack every now and then, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I remember when OJ was driving down the street and Rob called me excited, Mr. Robert Brooks. OJ's guy.
What did he call you and say? Turn on the news, John. Turn on the news.
Turn on the news. OJ's got it. He's been run for it.
I'm not thinking that's what happened, bro. I think that's what happened, bro.
What up, Brooks?
What up? Because I know I was at work that night. Damn it, call you. I was doing a game, watching the game and the chase at the same time. The chase is better than the game.
I had a phone. Well, you know what? They didn't have cell phones back there. Maybe I'm not remembering it right. Maybe I'm just remembering a collect phone call. I don't know. Mr. Robert Brooks.
Now we making collect phone calls. Like, what kind of bum shit you got me going on now? What kind of bum trip you got me on?
Yeah.
It's in the 90s, bro. Use your imagination.
Yeah,
bro, I know occasionally I send you money for poems and stuff, but that don't mean you got to start rocking turtlenecks and shit around the house.
It's a hoodie, my brother.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a hoodie.
Yeah, the 90s, back when long distance used to cost money.
There you go.
Yes, indeed.
How big a scam was that shit? That it's not even a thought of a cost for long distance.
Right.
In hindsight, right?
How many ways can we get the fucking money out your pocket?
The biggest hustle was at the hotels.
The
hotels charge you. They would charge you like 40 cents to make a local call. They would charge you like 40 cents a minute to make a local call, and dollars a minute to make long distance calls.
Yeah.
Listen, this is a struggle that the brothers today don't understand.
No, nothing about.
Right. Struggle. They went into their protest and they was mad and they came out with jobs.
Right.
Brothers wasn't mad no more.
Yeah, they was hiring that day.
They was hiring.
Hold on, y'all remember when cell phones first started getting kicked off? The crazy shit, the crazy charges they had, man. Oh my God.
What about Sky Pages? Remember the Sky Pages?
Sky Pager, yeah, I had one of those.
Yeah. Everybody thought they were out. You can actually send a message in real time.
See, I was in the Army for most of the up until 91. So, and then I guess I did have a pager in like 93.
Can you imagine the guy who made Sky Pager the day that they decided to put text on phones and give everyone like free texting abilities? He probably lost it. No, it's not fair.
Hopefully he was smarter than that. He saw it coming. Those dudes knew it. Some of those dudes knew what's coming. Some people, they take their wins and they walk away. They're like, look, I got a good amount of chips right here. I'm out. Listen, not all of them ride it into the ground.
Not everybody knows that. Not everybody knows that. And you know what? This is going to give me an opportunity to segue to one of my favorite old friends, my long deceased friend now, Lawrence, who used to play basketball. And I used to say, hey, El, let's go to the park and practice. And he said, no, I'm practicing popping. I'm going to make it dope. It's going to be lasting forever. And then when it died, we thought that it was all over. But then this year we had the Olympics, where breaking was a part of the Olympics. Popping, locking, shabadoo, boogaloo, all of none of those guys were there. None of the original Rocksteady. You know, I'm just coming off the top of my dome. Rocksteady wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? There was
they didn't really kick it off in a good way. And I was telling people, man, I was telling Gail, I was like, what about the Bronx? I was like, they're not saying anything about I don't hear these commentators talking about the history of it. They just have it appear as this competition. Oh, the whole world's doing this now. It's so big. It's a sport. And so now we'll go ahead and throw that in the Olympics. But we're not going to say, oh, but here's how it started. And then have some of those men flew out there and honor them. You know, these were some of the, the first people for this and that. Oh, it was trash. And that's why.
Gene, that's why we miss you, because we miss you making sense. You're making too much sense right now.
It was trash.
It was terrible.
I only watched the one, and that was more than enough to put me off the Olympics for a while.
Look,
watching Shorty do her thing.
When I
that's an interpretation.
I could not take my eyes off of it. It was like, when you're driving past a car crash.
Oh yeah.
I could not look.
I couldn't understand how it is that she got to be on that platform.
Oh yeah, she was just the worst one.
If that was it, like my 7th grade self could have been in the Olympics, and that's the part that pisses me off.
That's how shame on.
I was a non-breakdancing motherfucker, but I could have been in the Olympics if she could be there.
Shame on Australia, but you see those videos, man. You see the video of that white girl trying to teach people how to dance hip hop, and she's like, the hits are harder, bam. and that's hip hop, you know. Whereas it's more relaxed, you know. That's, you know, they are. Yo, you can't tell her that she ain't. Look, I'm gonna add one more, and I talked about this to Julian, my son, who I've been busting in tennis for 4 weeks now. But when he was in 8th grade, he came home and told me that his teacher, this musical studies class or whatever, told him that R&B is a form of hip hop. I said, nah.
Be the other way around, right?
Yeah, I said, yeah, that's
like
backwards.
You're working your way down the tree.
I said, you sure you didn't? She didn't say that. Nah, you had the notes and everything. I said, okay, how old is she? And he said, I don't know, 20. I said, this a white lady? He said, yeah. I said, man, yeah, look at your hand, goddammit. Now slap yourself for even considering listening to that. And you know what he told me? Julia looked at me and said, dude, she's a teacher. She's got a degree in this.
And therein lies the problem.
Right. Yeah.
They'll have you think that they are the authority on such things and arrogant about such things. So it is almost par for the course for Australia, which is basically a damn America, Israel, or, you know, and all the likes, pretty much. They thought, oh yeah, well, this is what we're gonna let her represent us proud, because they didn't even bother looking up the history of it and understanding it or this, that, or whatever. And the judges never even told us how they score the shit. I mean, at least with gymnastics, you know, the point system for this, that, and everything else. I hear them rambling. Oh yeah, I think they get extra points for that because he did it this way and then that way. And I was like, man, this is a spit in the face to hip hop and damn.
Rob thoroughly enjoyed it though.
There was no way I was going to watch that.
That's one interpretation of that. I did not thoroughly enjoy that. That was absolutely the worst thing that I've ever seen in my life. Like, in every level, it was wrong. It was wrong because it was a slap in the face to hip hop culture. It was wrong because there was no real criteria in terms of what you're supposed to be doing and how you're scoring it, like Gene just said. It was wrong because, like, where the fuck? Like, what? How do you recruit people for the hip hop, for the breakdance team? Where you go to recruit people for the breakdance team? Do they have like a section out in Colorado Springs where they got people like they're training, like 13-year-olds who are training to breakdance so they could be on the Olympic team, so they could be there in LA in 28?
Well, they're not having it in LA in 28. And
yeah, they shut it down.
Why make sense? Well, if you're gonna do it, it should have been in LA in 28, not in France.
Yeah, well, let me bring some perspective to this lady. What was her name?
But pardon me for a second, because I know I'm late to the party, whatever. But like the earrings to your right of Eugene, can you put those up closer to the window? My girlfriend's birthday's coming up, and I might need some shit for her.
That's right.
I'm gonna tell Gail. This is a good idea.
What is the name of Gail's website again? What is it?
Buy Pebbles. iBuyPebbles.com. The letter I is in Indian, BY, and then Pebbles.com, and that's on IG as well. At I Buy Pebbles.
Nice.
Or is it at Buy Pebbles?
That a vape you got going there, or
what's that?
That a vape you got going there?
Nah, man, this is a cone, bro.
Okay, you burning the tree? Okay.
Yes, I'm blowing on some of that Gorilla Glue, man.
Well, maybe
because I'm ready to go to sleep after this.
Well, maybe
I find Gorilla Glue don't put me to sleep. It makes me locked up, but I'm awake.
Well, maybe Ray Gun should have had some of that. Should have had some of that cultural appropriation there, and had some of that Gorilla Glue before she decided to get up there and snake on.
Do the bunny hop.
Do the bunny
hop.
Yeah. You know,
when she was mopping the floor with her hips, I was just done, man. Like when she was spinning around on the floor, and she just started doing this, like it's like an SNL skit, man.
Well, here's the thing, like apparently,
you know they gonna go ape shit with it.
You know, actually,
SNL.
Oh my God, they supposed to go ape shit with
the comedians.
Oh yeah, they better bring it back. But apparently, she has a degree that has something to do with being in hip hop, and she's written a couple of papers about the subject. I read some of the stuff. I didn't keep it because I was like, this bullshit.
Yeah.
Essentially, she was describing the culture and how difficult it is and to get into it, and how, you know, you have to be aggressive at this point. And you know what the sad part about this whole thing is? That bitch about to get paid. She's about to get paid. She just made a mockery of a sport that's not even coming back, of a cultural part of inner cities from the 80s and 90s. She just like took that shit, ripped it apart, and pulled more money out of it, is about to pull more money out of it than the pioneers ever saw. And that's the crazy part.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's not going to happen. I don't see how, like, if you're, let's just say that you're somewhat interested in this, you're watching that video and saying, we got to bring her in here and get her to teach people how to do this.
It's not even a
no. Was she gonna lecture on it? No. She gonna write a book that anybody's buying? No.
She is gonna lecture on it. She is gonna write a book that a lot of people are gonna buy just because they're gonna want to know what the fuck was she thinking, right? So they're gonna read that book just so they can say that they found out what the fuck she was thinking. And she's going to blow up from this, which to me is it's fucking crazy. It's an insult to any brother who has ever owned a Kangol. For real. And I think everybody on this
panel took a picture in a b-boy stance
or another owned a Kangol. Am I right?
For certain.
Am I right?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I was, I was lit up about it when it first happened.
You were heated. I couldn't believe it. I was like, Rob. I was like, maybe he took those bad spins he did on cardboard more seriously than I thought he did.
Yeah, and all I was thinking is, this is some silly shit right here. And but when the brother from America and a couple other cats was doing it, yo, the beats that were in the background were just sick. Now, whoever was picking those, they knew what they were doing, because I wanted to turn the volume up just because of the music they were playing on some of them on some of those folks' set. I mean, it was some real like old school break dance beats, break beats from James Brown or this or that or whatever, especially when African Bambaataa and them folks, Kool Herc. All that shit they was playing, man. It was pretty cool.
See, to me, there's been a lot of conversations in the months leading up to this, not necessarily about this event. First of all, I think it's a shame, and I think it's a smack in the face for you to have this event in France and let that bullshit pass, and then to say that you're not bringing it to LA. At least in LA, it didn't start in there, but LA always picked up on what New York was doing back at that time. So there's a lot of dope breakers that still passed it on, that still live in LA.
Yeah, like they were more into the locking, the popping and locking. They weren't in as much of the breaking, but the popping and locking, they was all over that.
Yo, let that culture, let that be out there.
They had a whole movie. They had 2 movies.
Yeah.
Boogaloo Shrimp.
Yep.
Zabadoo and Boogaloo Shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which, by the way, I watched Breaking 1 recently.
Mm-hmm.
It's whack. The acting is off.
It's still a bad movie.
It's a bad movie.
But you know what? We thought it was dope at that time because it
was.
was.
Oh yeah.
Because it was what we wanted to see.
Was wilding.
It was what we wanted to see, though.
But Beat Street was a bad movie too, which I watched recently.
Hey!
The acting in that is terrible.
Awful.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
But everybody you wanted to see was in there.
But that's a that's a Mario Van Peebles signature. Awful acting.
Yeah.
New Jack City, but iconic movies, but awful acting.
But yeah, listen to all the passion that's come out of this conversation. Just talking about breaking, popping, hip hop, that whole culture. That was us. It was the first time we were able to go see a movie and see kids that were dressed like us. These people had 16 candles and all that other bullshit. we had Beat Street and Breakin', and whether those movies were good or not, it didn't matter. We went to see them.
Right.
Yeah.
Crush,
Oh yeah.
Crush
Oh
Groove.
yeah. The house is gonna be full. Yeah.
Crush Groove, yeah.
Oh, Crush Groove. Where
Crush
did I see Crush Groove? Probably at Comac.
Yeah.
Oh
at
yeah.
Comac.
Yeah.
I saw them all at Comac except for I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. For some reason, we went out like east.
I was in the
to see
army.
I'm
I
Gonna
saw
Get
that
You
in
Sucker
Germany.
when that
I
came
saw that
out.
in Germany with
I saw
No.
him Get You Sucker in Chicago.
fifth grade educated soldiers.
You will all be happy to know that movie theater is now a Lowe's. So,
Oh yeah.
The Comac, yeah.
so that's another.
Is the White Castle still there though?
The White Castle is still there. As long as they're still slaying people, they're gonna serve murder burgers.
Murder burgers. I know that's right.
They're gonna
I
be
can't
out.
even imagine.
But listen, I mean, we can do it right in the United States of America, and they know we can do it right in the United States of America. And we could give credit to the pioneers in the United States of America and give them their flowers, which is exactly why there will be no breaking at the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles in the United States of America.
Yeah.
Well, there's not going to be any breaking because it was a dumb idea in the first place.
Right.
Yeah, who came up with it?
Unfortunately,
That
it was ill-conceived, and really, it should be put to bed. If you were going to do it anywhere, it should have been LA. But there might not be boxing in 28, so how about that?
The execution of it was terrible. I wouldn't say it was a bad idea. I would say the execution of it was terrible.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think they should run it back for LA. I think that we should take it upon ourselves, especially after that bullshit we just saw. Like that woman.
Let me tell you.
That woman. Hold on. Let me just finish this last thought. She came out and she asked for people to stop sending her hate mail and hate messages. Fuck you. Straight up.
Hilarious. She earned that.
You earned it. Are you kidding me?
She earned that.
That made me want to rifle one off right now.
That's her 15 minutes though.
Huh?
This is her 15 minutes. People know her name right now.
She's gonna be 15 minutes.
Yeah, she's gonna have a whole ESPN documentary and everything. Watch.
Mm-hmm. She may get like a 30 for 30 in like 30 years.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But like you ain't gonna see this broad another further. Once this hoopla dies down, I mean now it's gonna live on in infamy on the internet.
See, now that would be the thing. Like if you could get like, unfortunately, due to his poor behavior, the brothers had to give up his share in it. But like Revolt TV, like they should do like a documentary about her and her breakdancing efforts, and it should be completely shady as shit.
That's right. Sad time.
It should be absolutely like at the end of it, you should be like, wow, she really does suck.
Yeah. Call Keenan Ivory Wayans.
After the powers that be, like, actually here, pick up on the vibes that the black community is kicking out, I would hope that would be something that happens. And it's not just the black community. Let me just change that. All communities. It's like, it's the first time I've ever seen people almost universally say bullshit.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
All zeros? Didn't she get all zeros?
She got all zeros. She got a whole bunch of question marks. If you have infants or toddlers under the age of 3, I'm sure they're scarred. They don't know what the fuck just happened.
No, they think they could do it too. They think they're all going to be Olympians now.
Is that the first time anybody's got all zeros in something?
They gave her all zeros? Is that what happened?
Probably.
Oh yeah. Well, Australia. I'm telling you, she should have held a pay in Australia. Here's the thing, but even besides hers performance, what they didn't consider, or I don't hear it being talked about, is that breakdancing, just like rap, hip hop, was born out of pain and struggle, right? Mm-hmm. And so you're taking an art form that people created to find relief or to express parts of the city pain, their culture, this and that. Broke people, right? You're taking that art form and you're just putting it out there. without explanation, you know,
Undisturbed
just,
people. This is
where
why
it can be goofed on like that, you know, it's just like everything else shit, you know. That's a typical expression on how I appreciate it.
I hope she gets nothing but rotten fruit for the rest of her life when she goes to the market. May her bread go fucking stale overnight every day.
Right.
For real. Like
Right.
that to me it was like the worst. It was like the ultimate slap in the face. And you know, when I look at these people, like these idiots on, I gotta stay off of like that cesspool that's named Twitter. First of all, I need to sue Elon for fucking naming it X in the first place. I'm fucking X, you bitch. Second of all, and everything, you've got these people that are having these fights about foundational Black Americans and African Americans and who actually created hip hop, you know, and they're the reason why can't none of y'all win is because everybody did. But it's about 75%, like, you know, what you would call foundational Black Americans, and the other 25% is split up amongst various groups. Or maybe I would say even 85, 90%. And when you talk about the art form of the dance itself, the art form of the dance, you've got brothers like Cab Calloway and who are those brothers?
I know you're talking about
guys.
The Nicholas brothers.
And you know, and these cats that go way back to the 20s and the 30s that were doing splits and like spinning on their backs. And when it comes to rap, you got people who were doing jazz music that were rapping in the 20s. Y'all ain't fucking creating nothing new. If you arguing about anything, you're arguing about who regurgitated it first. And while you're at it, it just gives you an opportunity to go at each other's ethnicities and cultures, which is stupid. Everybody, we're all a part of the diaspora from one way or the other and everything. I understand the struggles of my Jamaican brothers and Trinidadian brothers that grew up in colonialism, or at least I tried.
Now they have a real claim on creating hip hop, but that's another story. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, they have. Listen, the question becomes: did they create hip hop? Did they do it by themselves, or did they come and collaborate with other Black people? Because we all know that we've all been to Jamaican parties and clubs where they put on the hip hop and they turn that shit off. You know.
I'm talking about the kids though. I'm talking about you look. A lot of our artists have Jamaican parents.
Oh yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm saying.
You know,
I'm saying it's
like, West Indian parents. You
right.
know?
The question is whether, you know, but are they, when they're making the music, are they claiming to be West Indian, or are they just doing their thing? Like, you know, y'all are bringing race into shit where it doesn't belong. It just doesn't. Forget about it. It just doesn't belong. Go ahead, Grant.
But when you're talking about hip hop, though, you're not just talking about music. Hip hop is graffiti, breakdancing, rapping, DJing, right? So you got four elements of hip hop. No one person or one culture or whatever created hip hop. Hip hop is a Big Bang theory, right? It all just happened to come together at the same time. And what we claim now is that on the greatest day in America, August 11th, hip hop was born, because that's the day that Kool Herc had the party, Cedric Avenue, right? That's the first that's the first day that they say that hip hop started. Because all of the elements just happened to come together that day at that time. Right. So there is no I created it or we created it. It's a universal creation of things that were already there. And it just formed a movement.
Yeah.
Can we get a consensus on that, Rob? Or are you still at work? I know you got your mic muted.
I'm here in the office, but Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of things that came together. I mean, there were dudes doing different things that came together and formed a culture. You know, a way of dressing, a way of relating to each other. You know, a way of expressing yourself. That all came together into hip hop. But they, you know, dudes here in the Bronx, dudes here in Brooklyn. You know, my man Gil Scott Heron dropping a rhyme. You know, to give us information. You know, there's a lot of different elements that came together to create a hip hop culture. There's no one piece. Nobody created hip hop. Yeah, somebody created scratching. Somebody scratched before somebody else. Somebody
That's what
the idea.
The start of it was taking them break beats and that becoming popular, taking the break beats at parties and stuff like that. And then of course behind that came the dancing, and along with it came the rapping.
You ever see there was a show on Netflix a couple of years ago called The Get Down.
Yeah.
You ever see that?
Yeah.
That was pretty. First of all, you know, that chicken there was absolute fire.
Yes, sir.
I was gonna watch again anyway. But it was a cool sort of imagination of the beginning of hip hop. You know, a fantasized version of the beginning of hip hop.
Yeah, but even that show had kind of like mystic elements to it. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't just a straight show. There was some like magical shit that happened.
Oh yeah,
right. That made hip hop be what it was.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot that weird shit was in the show too.
Well, there's always a mystical and magical element with anything that actually comes with creation.
Well, yeah, and it's always a magical Negro.
Yeah, there's always a magical Negro. There it goes.
This time his name was Flash.
Flash. Y'all don't understand, B. You know, the problem is like, you know, there's so few of us left from that era. And so few of us left that are doing well from that era. And a lot of us don't even, let's say, even some of us don't want to admit that we were a part of that era. Like everybody on this panel has had a Kango. We readily would admit that.
A couple of them.
You know, painted.
Even like a couple years ago, I had.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things these days is showing up at some fairly exclusive golf clubs with my Kango.
You talking about
I got a red terry cloth one that I still Bell Kango.
Style?
I got a Bell style.
Oh yeah, the Bell
style. The felt the terry cloth one.
Yeah.
I play golf in one sometimes.
Nice.
Yeah.
I must really have them clutching their pearls sometimes at the bar as they see you walk in.
Rob's one of the good ones.
Surprisingly, I found out the other day, maybe not.
No, I mean I'm sure all of us have been called that. I know I have, you know, you solid, you want them solid. Yeah, man, get away from me.
Start talking crazy around me.
Yeah. So I mean it like that.
You spoke
exactly. No, but I was talking to somebody the other day and they were like, yeah, you know, when you walk into the room, you're clearly here and the rest of the room is there. I'm like, well, that ain't me. That's you. Like how you feel about my entrance is entirely up to you.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do have a superiority complex.
Well, a lot of what these things are about that we're seeing is basically getting us to walk into the rooms more timidly. You know, if you want to ask people, if you really want to talk about the non-political effects that they're looking for out of these the next election, that's one of them. Because they're tired of you walking in the room and you being up here and them being down there. Not all of them, just some of them, just the bad ones. I'm actually hearing a lot of white people that are actually not down with what's going to happen if Trump gets elected again. And a lot of them have been more vocal than I'm surprised. I'll put it that way.
Well, that Project 2025 is scary to a lot of people because it ain't just us.
Right.
I'll be surprised if he gets elected because regardless to what they say, Black people are going to show up at the polls, probably not in the numbers that they did for Obama when he ran the first time, but Black people are going to show up at the polls and vote for her.
That's why they're trying to kill Kamala. That's why they're trying to kill her. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, they took a shot at her?
No, I mean they're trying to.
No, but there's a bunch of they've mobilizing some brothers. They trying to use some dudes in hip hop and in the culture to try to beat up Kamala.
Sad sack Negroes.
Beat her up,
No.
or actually support Trump.
Well, they're trying to support Trump
by beating her
up.
By beating her up. You know, they're telling, you know, it just goes to how much they're getting closer every election, but they haven't quite figured out that Black people, like we know, are not a monolith. And we don't all come from inner cities, or we don't all come from rich parents, basketball players, or entertainers. Some of us have no talent whatsoever. We may be able to shoot a basketball, but we can't jump high enough to make it to the league. So we have to have other qualities that we require and skills that help us to get through, which makes us essentially like everybody else. And they're a little bit slow to coming to that realization that these motherfuckers, and just the same way they're saying that they're going to go out and they're going to run up in your house. And you say, if someone runs up in my house, we know what's going to happen. Well, just remember that we're all the same. And on that note, does anyone have anything else that they'd like to say before we go? We were
you were getting so kumbaya there. I thought I was going to start singing from High School Musical. We're all in this together, and we reach for the stars, and we know we can get there.
Until you open up the door. Until you open up the door and your ass got hit with that buckshot. That's what I get it. I get it, brother. I get it. But this is what it is. We were supposed to talk about our health journeys and things of that nature, and we never got a chance to get around to it. You know, Gene,
not important.
Gene, we got to get you back here on. What'd you say, Gene?
It's of paramount importance.
It's not important, right. But no, I'm just kidding.
Nobody cares.
Go ahead. What would you say?
So, Gene, we got to get you back here. We got to get these guys here earlier so that way we can get you back here. You know, so.
Oh no, for sure. You know, I definitely missed it. I'm glad. It's therapeutic. You know, I'm gonna pay for it tomorrow morning
in the AM.
You know, but no biggie. You know, I can handle it. I'm not scared of it. But yeah, no, I was glad. It was good to be back and talking shit with y'all. You know, and just basically going off on rabbit trails and stuff. I missed all that.
Mr. Gene Hopkins. You definitely bring an element of humor to the show that we've been missing. Nobody makes us laugh more than you do. You know.
All right. Okay.
Not saying that you're unserious or ridiculous. You actually be right on point, and you're not afraid to say it. And we love having you, and we miss you, bro. We miss you, bro.
I appreciate that.
Look at that, giving flowers while somebody's alive. My man.
That's it, my brother.
Black love.
Black love.
Well, hey, yo, Rob. Yo, somebody, that Grand Slam, your boy. I know that was exciting, right?
Yeah.
I forgot the batter's name. Hit a Grand Slam?
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's his name? Starts with an S. Like a
Schwarber.
Weird name. Schwarber, yeah.
Schwarber, yeah.
Yeah,
we
man.
were
I thought about you.
We needed that. We
needed that bad. That was like they had lost like 5 straight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Philly was
the All-Star break. It's been tough.
Mm-hmm.
But we got the Nationals in town, so hopefully we'll get healthy again.
Yeah, they'll get back together.
I have to admit, I have watched 0 innings of baseball this year. This is probably my least amount of baseball ever watched. I don't even turn it on to go to sleep right now.
And the Metsies are they're trying to get in the wild card chase, man. They're playing a little bit better now.
I actually looked at the standings today, and I was like, I want to see what I'm missing. You know, I saw the thing about Aaron Judge being the quickest guy to get to 300 homers. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's the middle of the baseball season or somewhere. It should be almost wrapping up pretty soon. And,
hold on. They just wrapped up the Olympics. You didn't talk about that at all.
Yeah, because
Except for the breakdance, we got caught up. We got caught. Yeah,
I
we
mean,
went down the breakdancing trail.
I mean,
Yo,
well, what do you say about the Olympics?
I'm gonna forget his last name now. The dude who won the 100. Noah
Lyles.
Lyles. Yeah. I'm still, I'm not sure if he's a righteous shit talker or a shit talker who deserves what he gets.
Oh no, he bit off. I mean, he look.
He like when did you see what they did in the Sudan?
No,
Like the guy who beat him in the 200 in the Sudan. They were rolling a dude in a wheelchair, looking like Noah Lyles getting rolled off the track.
Oh yeah, no, it's even they even had these Jamaican brothers. Is like, yo, if he had COVID, he's the most irresponsible, foul person out there. He out there being a super spreader. All them people out there and the other racers and everything else. And they were saying this with this heavy patois going on. Man, it was so hilarious. I couldn't take my eyes off of it. He was like, but no, I'm gonna tell you something. He still did big things, but
oh yeah.
I mean, but at that level, arrogance is a front. Arrogance is a front at that level. It really is, unless you're Usain Bolt, where everybody knows who's about to win this
Michael
race.
Johnson or Edwin Moses in his prime.
Exactly.
Like I'm gonna win 109 races in a row.
Yeah, but if you haven't done that, I mean, if you haven't even done it on the Olympic level yet, or was he in the 200? No, he's never been to Olympics, right? This is his first Olympics. Yeah, he ain't done that.
But he didn't win it. He didn't go gold at that one.
Yeah, but you know what? He can't. He got off in the Olympics, man. He got 3 medals?
He had a good trip, but it would have been so much better if he wasn't getting clowned on different stands afterwards. If he didn't have all these people coming
that's because
for him,
he came out there jumping up jumping up and down like he just won the goddamn lottery, and then screaming and whatnot, and then right after the finish line, he caught COVID.
Well,
he crossed the line.
Would you call that the highlight of the Olympics? Grant, before we go, since we're already a little bit over, Grant, what would you consider to be your highlight of the Olympics?
I'm since Leia's a swimmer, I started watching swimming much more intently, and Ledecky.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell you she a monster. But I think my highlight though was probably Simone Biles. Just coming back the way that she did,
coming back, gutting out the injury.
Right. Yep. And then having the performance that she had. Yeah. And what makes it even better is on Hard Knocks, her husband, Jonathan Owens, he went there while they were in training camp.
He a linebacker, right?
He's a safety, I think. Safety or cornerback, one of the two with the Bears.
I'm telling you, they have kids.
My God!
Oh, that neck.
They're getting offered a scholarship.
They got a scholarship, man.
Listen, I'm not going to support that. I'm not going to support that. I'm just going to end it off with my favorite part was watching the 4x400 meter women's race, and watching what was that? Who was it? What was her name, Rob? The one that graduated from Harvard?
Ooh, Gabby
Thomas.
Thomas.
Yeah.
The 100, she ran the 100, the 200, and the 400.
Yo, but did you see her dude trying to put a crown on her?
No, I didn't.
No, that was the other one. That was the one who won the 400 hurdles. Her husband put a crown on her, and guess what? She said Olympic record. She deserved it.
No, but then she took it off.
She took it off, and then her husband put it back on. Yeah.
No, the optics, bro. Them optics was bad. Like
I laughed at all the people who were feeding them the flags. Like, come over here. No, take this flag, wrap it around their shoulders. We need to get this shot with you, the flag draped around your shoulders.
Right. Well, that's part of the commercialism of the Olympics, and that's how they pay the bills at the end of the day.
I'm not sure if that's how they pay the bills, but
it's part of it. It's part of it. I enjoyed watching her run because I was just like, that's amazing. She could run in the one. She's fast enough to run in a 100 relay. She dominates the 200, and she runs in the 400 too, and they just dusted. They just dusted those girls in that final. That was like, oh my God.
Oh, you talking
my
about
girl
the 4x400?
That 4x4x.
They
That was
crushed
fire.
it. But my girl Shikari,
Mhm.
and when she got ousted the last time because she got caught smoking a joint, whatever, I was like, girl, go sit down. Like, regardless of what happened, regardless of why it happened, whatever, just go sit down. Get ready to run in 4 years again. Every time when she's coming down the stretch and she would look over her shoulder at that person, I was like, damn, chick, you just housing people.
Oh, yeah.
Who does that?
But they got her in the end, though. They got her in the end because they cheated her.
I had to honor her.
I
was burning every time she ran a race.
But you know what, though? They got her with the warm-up thing. But the Jamaicans didn't even show up. They were like, we can't warm up. We can't race.
You know what?
Yo, at least she went out there and tried to do her thing.
But did you see
things happen on game day?
You see the Netflix special about them runners? They have a Netflix series about
Sprint.
Called Sprint. And it was the Jamaican team, the girls, they blew up over in Jamaica. Like two of the top ones, I forget the names, left this, team of, I'm talking about these cats had Santa Claus bellies. I'm talking about the trainers and shit sitting around telling them what some of them stomachs is out there, right? Old, and I'm talking about talking slow and eating oxtail while they was doing the interview. And I was like, yeah, so they fired them, except for the one girl, and she was the last one holding on in the Olympics, but then she bowed out too, or she went out first for injury or something. She won the world. What do they have every year in track?
Oh, the World Games?
World Championships.
Yeah.
The
World Championships. Yeah, she was in the 100 meter. I forget her name. Or it was either that or the 200 meter. But anyway, yeah, they all bowed out, man. They all old. They're done, man.
Well,
this is their last hurrah. And so a new wave is going to come in probably after this.
That's the way it goes. And, with Shikari, apparently one of the reasons why she was having issues the first time around is she was dating one of the Jamaican chicks, and she was like, you know what? I don't even want to talk about it. Yeah, she likes girls.
Who does? Shikari?
Yeah. And there was this thing, they had broken up, and the girl was really mean to her, really rude to her.
Always some shit.
They were like laughing and they were making fun of her. It was like almost like they were messing with her so they could break her spirit. So I was glad to see
you broke Gene's spirit.
I'm telling you.
Well, listen, when the Jamaican team didn't get anything going on, when they didn't have anything going on, maybe they should think about it. And that's like, we need to be nicer to each other. So anyway, 8 minutes over, Born in Trouble. Mr. Robert Brooks with the good looks.
What up? Happy I can make it. Good to see you, Hop. Miss you, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, man, for sure, man. Good to see everybody. I always love intelligent banter and the likes.
And of course, from Detroit, Michigan, Mr. Grant Lancaster.
I'll let you, boy.
All right, fellas.
The man, the myth, the legend, John X.
Oh, well, yeah. The man, the myth, the legend, still here.
Pepsi drinker.
Some of y'all mad about that shit. I know some of y'all mad. Secretly, you're mad. This is what I should make as the clip and put it out there. I know some of y'all niggas mad, but I ain't going nowhere. Mr. John.
Many men wish death on me.
Johnny Walker Black, baby.
Johnny Walker Black.
John Black.
Cops circle my blocks, but never catch a knocks. I rock for knots. Peace.